What's the deal? What's the deal, man? Politikan the podcast. We back again. Straight out of quarantine, man. We still trapping out the house. New studio on the way. Roku channel on the way. Check out the Politikan forum. We got new articles, new content out daily. PolitikanBroadcastingNetworks.com. One site centralized for all our content. Hit us up. Check us out, man. PolitikanBroadcastingNetworks.com. Hit us up. So we got a lot to talk about, man. It's a lot to politic on, man. I got the homie. I'm finna bring him in right now. He's gonna introduce himself. What's the deal? What's the deal?
What's going on, man?
Chilling. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
So, it's Alvin. Call myself Mr. Focus on the Future. Kids are the future. It's time we start focusing on them. And ready, man. Just excited about still being at home with my kids. Excited for NBA coming back. Give us something relevant to look at on TV instead of all this, staged madness. So, it's feeling good.
Feel it for sure. We got the homie Ken Chronicles. He joined us
What's
right
going
now.
on, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's the deal, man? Chilling.
Man. Right on.
What you been up to, man?
Man, just hanging, man. Just writing. Trying to get different projects off the ground. Still wanting to see how the NBA, how that's going to transpire. How the NFL going to play out next year. And, man, just living, just trying to stay afloat, man.
So today, I did a write-up on the Politikan forum, man. Got the press release. Fight Island is here. Fight Island is officially here. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi starting July 11th. It's going to be 4 dates. The 11th, the 15th, the 18th, and the 24th. It's going to be one pay-per-view event and 3 fight nights. So Mortal Kombat is literally alive now. They have a Fight Island with the UFC. This is crazy. What's your thoughts on that?
I like it. Low key, I like it. From what I've seen so far, like with some of the little footage with the, everybody fighting without the crowd, it feels like they got some like an extra chip on their shoulder, like as if they going in to make sure people know that they actually are missing out on the show. So I like it. It seems more authentic. You don't have all the extra distractions.
To me, they seem extra focused, like without all the crowds and the distractions.
I share those same sentiments exactly. And just
go ahead.
Can you hear me? Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I share those same sentiments too, man. Remember in early May, Dana White had put on that UFC 249 at Veterans Memorial Arena in Jacksonville with no fans in attendance. So just shout out to Dana White for being the spearhead and just basically being a pioneer on how to conduct sporting events amid COVID-19. I mean, I think that this is just going to transcend all. And I think that now other sports organizations, they'll have a prototype of what to go to in the next, pandemic or disaster. So shout out to Dana White, excuse me.
Yeah,
I know. And what a destination, like Abu Dhabi. You can't get a more plus destination for the fighters to be quarantined at. I can't think of a better place. If I'm going to be stuck in a bubble, Disneyland with the NBA, that sounds like trash compared to what the UFC doing at
Yeah.
Right.
But plus it's the team concept too. I mean, the NBA, they're going to try to bring their family out and whatnot, so you give them entertainment so they can, still stay focused. But with UFC, that's just lavish. Like, there's no comparison. That's lavish.
I know. I'm trying
because it's a solo sport anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, man. After I seen that last UFC, the pay-per-view, I didn't catch the fight nights. With the pay-per-view, it was epic, man. Like, just those fights were so crucial and intense, man. It was like something I never seen. You know what I'm saying? It reminded me of the Ultimate Fighter, because when they do the Ultimate Fighter TV show, there is no crowd. There's just a few fighters, and they duke it out. You know what I'm saying? And that concentration, man, just the best is going to show, and the most prepared is going to show. You know what I'm saying? That home court
So I have a
advantage
question, Caleb.
and that
So
crowd, it doesn't matter. Go ahead.
I have a question. So what's been the difference in your perspective from witnessing an event with no fans as opposed to just like the traditional fandom?
To me, it's like when the big punches land, you would hear the oohs and the ahs of the crowd. And as a fighter that got big, that took the big punch, you would be like, I can see how the crowd wouldn't affect you. When you get socked in and you start bleeding out your eyeball, but nobody says anything, it's easier to endure and keep going. So I think from the mindset of the fighters, just not having the roar of the crowd whenever something happens allows you to refocus and dial back into the fight.
Right.
Hey, can you hear me still?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, you sound clear.
Okay.
What's your man? What's your name, my man? I'm sorry.
Alvin.
Alvin
Like
Kenneth. Pleasure
like
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Right
661. What's that on your hat? To tell us what the hat is.
Well, out here in the Antelope Valley, a lot of people know the Antelope Valley, right outside of, what's north of LA, about an hour and a half. You got Lancaster, you got Palmville, you got Little Rock, Quartz Hill, Antelope Acres, Little Rock. I already said Little Rock. Lake LA. There's a lot of little towns within our little valley or whatever, but they're all 661. And me and my homeboy Josh, we were trying to come up with a positive idea to kind of bring everybody together, since everybody's been divided during all this, these times, even before quarantine. Just here or there, even kids trying to pretend to gangbang or whatever. So it was just 661 Boulevard to kind of bring both Lancaster and Palmdale together as the AV, and it's sponsored by Top Shelf because that's his brand, and I'm just kind of like a rep with it.
For sure. So what is your brand? What do you actually do?
Oh, well, me, I'm a mentor and a basketball coach, and then I referee youth and adult league basketball as well.
Okay, I see you. So speaking of basketball, then how you feel about this NBA return, man?
Man, part of me is excited because I'm a big Laker fan, so it was
almost... I'm a Clipper fan. Get out of here, boo!
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. That's not gonna happen this year. I mean, this would be the year for it to happen, but I'm looking forward to seeing a different look, I guess. The last lockout season was crazy when Dallas ended up winning. That kind of threw off LeBron and the Heat's little legacy or whatever. So I feel like this year is going to be crazy. The Disneyland or the Disney World concept, everybody being off for 9 weeks now. So nobody can kind of tell, judge, what type of shape they're going to be in. And then, like I said, I want to see the Lakers win. I need that in my life right now. It's been a drought, 10 years? I feel like we are the Clippers. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking.
So what's your thoughts, Cam? How you feel about the NBA?
I think that this year should have been a wash. In particular, I mean, just too many gambles and too many potential liabilities. I don't know. I just think sports, of course, they unite everyone, and we need we need sports in this time. But at the same token, we still gotta think the long haul, and you still have to have maids who clean up the rooms. You still got valet attendants. You still got a full operation at a hotel, and those people have to go home to their family. So I definitely think that the rest of the year should have definitely been a wash. I had read some stuff today. The Hawks GM, he was discussing that the actually next season is actually going to be condensed to accommodate the 82 games. So then that can induce more injuries. I just don't like it. It should have just been a wash, man, to be honest.
They can't afford it. I mean, you got too many up and coming stars that's going to change the direction of the league. And I think more or less Adam Silver trying to make sure LeBron it's kind of set up for either LA team to win, but you kind of need that dialogue still. You need the NBA to still be relevant because, you haven't had any type of crazy protesting with the NBA like you did with the NFL. So, it's the one sport right now that kind of seems untouched. So you got to keep going.
But you know what? I mean, I get it, but I don't think that the NBA was going to lose any momentum because I think there would be a general understanding of what's going on.
Oh yeah, no,
get,
yeah,
right. But
yeah,
I get your point too. I mean, one doesn't.
Well, no, I don't. Go ahead, keep going, Kim. My fault.
No,
it's like they kept talking about the whole concept of doing the mid-season tournament, right? And how unique and ironic is it that they're getting the opportunity to kind of throw that in right now, where you cut off Summer League, which is really just a rookie showcase that really don't even matter, and then you also get that opportunity to throw the players into that Disney World bubble. And, we all know that Disney World, it's like a whole community, basically. Like if you work for them, you live within the resort. So now you make sure they're all quarantined before coming in. Then it's going to make it look like they're being even more proactive to make sure everyone's health is good, because the liability's there, but then they're going to say the liability is going to be there regardless where you go. So you have that happen now. You condense the regular season for next year, but still try to make it 82 games. You'll mess around and have because they haven't talked a lot about it, but they're talking about trying to do a league in Africa. They're trying to throw in some stuff over in Europe. So I mean, that's going to bring everyone together, bring all that money into the NBA, help make the players happy. You know what I'm saying? I think it was just a bigger move. So it's like if we lose the way this season was supposed to end, the cash out on the back end is going to be well worth it.
But I get all that. But in this sense, we're praying and hoping that things are executed and goes like that. I mean, that's cool.
Right.
I mean, that's a good foresight. But one injury during this, give me a word, exploratory season is going to affect next season to where it's going to be 82 games plus playoffs. I wouldn't take the gamble.
True.
I mean, these NBA players have sponsors.
Right.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay.
Yeah.
I get both sides though. Go ahead,
from my stance, it was the broadcasting contracts. They had to play 72 games out of the 82 game season to fulfill their broadcasting contracts. They're 8 games away from getting to 72 games. So that's what they're doing, is that they're just throwing in those 8 games so that they can fulfill those broadcasting contracts. And on the tail end of it, we get a playoff series. So, but it was just going to be too much money and too much equity to lose, and losing those broadcasting contracts, especially when some of them are up for grabs. And with Fox and ESPN and C,
like Time Warner with
CBS
and
TNT, everybody's jockeying for position, man. So the NBA is trying to keep everybody in their pocket by returning the season and trying to keep the losses at a minimum.
One injury.
Yeah.
Well,
next week, next year's a wash. We have the potential of having a next season with even more players being healthy.
Whoa. Okay.
I just don't get the logic. I get I get it from the revenue aspect. I won't argue numbers. You can't argue numbers. But what about ethics? What about common sense?
Well, I was thinking that they were looking at the fact that like 9 out of 10 players, if you ask them, would they rather go after this season and still have the potential to win? They would say, yeah, and then just play the chips as they may for the next season, right? But looking foreseeing on the future for the league, at least, the Golden State Warriors just set themselves up to guarantee a championship next year, being that they tanked this year, not on purpose with the whole Clay and Steph going down. And then you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, if they all thought about that as owners, because you know how they're all collectively together, it could be like, hey, this is the best chance for anybody to win the championship this season because of the circumstance. And next year, they all might be looking at the Vegas odds saying, hey, you know what? It's Golden State's chip to lose, more or less anybody else's chip to win. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking about the potential free agents. I'm looking at the potential trades, the draft. If they really sat down like we sitting down, and they're thinking about how this could affect each and every team, they must have looked at the money that they would lose this season would be more impactful to what would happen next year. You know what I mean? For sure. And then because if they're going to start the first game of the season December 1st, and me being a huge basketball fan personally, If I'm looking at basketball all the way to October, and then I only have a month and a half off before the next season starts, I take it. Like, yeah, the injury might happen, but I mean, what if they try to pull a fast one and Kevin Durant goes, "Oh, I'm gonna be with the team anyway in Orlando because I'm on the roster and I'm fresh, I'm not injured no more. Let me try to win a chip right now." Because they still haven't ruled him out.
But if you're an active player, then what's wrong with that? I don't see anything wrong with that scenario.
Right, but I'm saying like little things like that could be another, they could be additional factors. You know what I mean? Like even they were talking about Miami Heat signing Boogie Cousins to have him play over in Orlando. And like to me, that would be crazy because they're already a defensive-minded team. They already all dogs following Jimmy Butler. You put somebody like him down there to bang down low, that could change the way the East looks, at least for a couple series.
So let me ask you a question. So you think that them finishing out the year is pretty much experimental, and some teams are actually going to benefit from the experiment?
I think so. I think that when they waited, there was more positive than negative. Even if it was 51-49, I think that 1% factor.
Right. Those are semantics, right?
You know what I mean? Like, just screw it, because what if we didn't take the chance? We would think about it from right now all the way till the season started anyway.
You know what's crazy? I agree absolutely. You know what's crazy is that it seems like Adam Silver, his vision isn't long run. He wants to win now.
Yeah,
he wants to stay in the now. He wants exclusivity.
He's not David Stern.
No, exactly. I was thinking about that.
Millennial. He's almost like a millennial.
No, seriously though, and he's programmed. He understands metrics for sure. What else we got? We still staying there?
So predictions. What are your predictions? You already said you're a Lakers fan. So Lakers and who? Lakers and Milwaukee. That's your prediction.
Honestly, if Miami gets Boogie, I could go with Miami. I know Milwaukee has a good squad. I know Giannis is looking like he could go MVP and Defensive Player of the Year, and nobody's done it since Jordan and all the analytics behind it. But I've always been a huge Jimmy Butler fan, and
why?
The way he's a basketball player. Like I like his shit talk. I like the way he holds.
He's had problems on every team.
No, I know, but that's the thing. Like, I've had problems with every teammate.
I can tell.
Every team I played on, I've always been the opinionated one. I ask the coach questions, you know what I mean? And like, to me, even though he's had issues, he's always had positive seasons. You know what I mean? Like, there's not always, okay, don't get me wrong, that Chicago run was the best, but it's like, I like what he brings to the playoffs, whatever team he's on.
Okay, so that's fair.
Miami being young and the East being open, you know what I'm saying? Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid don't seem like they're going to do what they're supposed to do. So that leaves them, Toronto, and possibly Miami. So I will just go with the underdog and, maybe see a funny Miami, LA final, but it won't happen. No problem.
Speaking of Philadelphia, man, they deep and they never really got to jail, man. So that's another dangerous team coming back from this layoff, man, with everybody healthy. If they can find some type of chemistry, that's going to be a dangerous team, how deep they are, man.
I got the Lakers.
But didn't Philly's quarantine was let up early, right? Were they let up earlier?
They're bums over there. They wasn't working out.
I don't believe Embiid was working out.
Look, and that segues to my next one. I got the Lakers. Because LeBron James takes no days off. I mean, he's a bully. He's healthy. I'm pretty sure he's calling his staff, making sure that they're eating healthy. I'm pretty sure he's putting expedited pressure on them just for those who never smelled a championship. This is their opportunity to get an expedited one, right? So then you transition into next season, and now we're dealing with morale. So I got the Lakers easy. Just from basketball, kind of common sense.
Lakers who though? Lakers versus who on the East?
I want to say Milwaukee. But Lakers will beat Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And LeBron will single-handedly. LeBron's not letting anyone younger than him beat him at this point.
You don't think Kawhi has a chance? You don't think that Kawhi?
No. Kawhi, I don't. You know what? let me express on Kawhi. First of all, I cannot trust a basketball player who I haven't seen play as many games as what they say his potential is. He's a great basketball player. I get it. But he doesn't play enough basketball. He won't beat him.
He doesn't play because he hasn't had time to be healthy. So now that he's had his layoff to
that's
be
speculation.
healthy, that excuse has been eliminated. So now with all hands on deck, everybody healthily.
LeBron James.
I feel like the Clippers are the deepest. They had the most injury woes. Paul George and Kawhi only played, I think it was 18 games together during this
Paul
whole
George's not ready to
regular
win.
season.
He's not ready to win.
They're ready, man. If Paul George is going to get a ring,
Paul George is not ready to win.
If Paul George is going to get a ring, it's this year.
LeBron James is going to beat the whole league.
Yeah.
Paul George had damn near
spaz.
Paul George had damn near an MVP year last year with the Thunder.
LeBron James is the most conditioned
triple
player in the NBA.
Westbrook and
he had
Carmelo Anthony.
Anthony Davis on the bike during this quarantine, and they have footage
Exactly.
of that. And J.R. Smith.
Stats don't matter in this case. LeBron James is going to beat the whole league.
Okay, well, we're going to see.
And
That's what they said last year, and he pulled his grind, and we never seen that dude for the rest of the season.
LeBron James is going
to... No, go ahead.
You know he's not invincible. He's one injury away from the Lakers being trash again.
Injury away? Let me tell you something. Can we stop here?
Injury away from
Can we stop here?
Having the whole Lakers being trash. LeBron gets injured, the Lakers are trash.
Caleb, first of all, LeBron James, he doesn't get injured. He has ailments. Trust me. LeBron James is in pristine shape. He spends over $1 million a year in his body alone.
And he still got injured last year.
He's still 35 years old.
On his 17th year. Exactly why, injuries weren't a part of his career before this.
And he was still the best player in the league. He was still
given this.
He was still. LeBron James was the best player in the league this year before COVID. Are you kidding me?
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Why are we talking about last year, Caleb?
But I still don't believe that the Lakers as a team is deep enough and ready enough to come back. From the layoff. I don't believe that Kyle Kuzma and JaVale McGee. McGee is the king of Shaq and the Fool.
But they dogs, though.
He's the king of Shaq and the Fool.
We're not talking basketball. After he came, no, exactly. After he came off of Golden State,
they were legit
getting the end front to back. Besides LeBron James, Anthony Davis, I don't believe that any of the supporting cast have been working out in an adequate manner.
Oh, no.
I don't believe that Kyle Kuzma and JaVale McGee. I don't believe that they're going to be ready. I don't believe that they're going to be ready.
You think
Dwight Howard? You think Dwight Howard's going to come back and be ready?
Yes. He wants to win
right now. I put money on it right now. Dwight Howard went back to Atlanta, and he was working out in Atlanta before anybody else.
Orlando.
Orlando.
You see he went back to Orlando. He will never be back, man. Dwight Howard's washed.
What?
Dwight Howard's washed.
No. Can I say something? Alvin.
Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
For you to say Dwight Howard is washed, you expect too much out of him. All we want
he
down Dwight Howard.
He already had a Hall of Fame career.
Exactly. All we want, not we. All the Lakers want out of Dwight Howard is present shot blocking, and for him not to be a goof off. This isn't 2004. Exactly.
You got two winners against the goof off. Now that Boogie Cousins is gone, you got Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee running your center, two goofballs.
No.
JaVale McGee, how's JaVale McGee a goof off? Alvin, can I say one thing? Caleb, you're just saying that JaVale McGee is a goof off because you just referenced Shaq and the Fool. How's JaVale McGee a goof off? He doesn't have a skill set, but he's a presence. That's personal, brother.
Yep.
No, I'm giving you my personal opinion on the supporting cast of LeBron James versus the supporting cast of Kawhi Leonard, and this is why I have the Clippers versus the Celtics in the championship, because the Celtics have a better supporting cast, and it's going to be two deep teams that's going to be able to will it throughout this condensed season. I don't think that a 2-3-man team is going to be able to get through this condensed short season and all this extra shit. It's just too much on top of it, man. I don't believe that the Lakers or the Milwaukee are going to be able to be the ones. It should be Lakers Milwaukee in this championship.
No, I mean,
I agree.
Because all this shit happened is opening the door for the Clippers. It's opening the door for the Celtics. It's opening the doors for Philadelphia. It's opening the doors for Miami. The doors are wide open. Even Houston, the doors are open because private runs with a dude like Russell Westbrook, that intensity, he doesn't need the crowd to bring the intensity. Just like Jimmy Butler.
Are you kidding me?
The crowd to bring that intensity, man.
Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm completely serious.
Russell Westbrook was born on emotions. Of course he needs the crowd. Look, he's going to go out there and play hard just because he loves basketball, but he wears emotions on his back, on the top of his head, in front of his face. Are you serious? Of course
that's why we love him, man.
That's why you love him.
Hey, man, you seen him at UCLA, bro. I've been a fan since UCLA.
I seen him in high school.
I've been a fan since UCLA. I said, that man's a dog.
You really thought that?
Yeah, day one, because Baron Davis was my favorite player, so I always like UCLA.
Favorite player where?
Period, in basketball.
Why?
Because it was just something about him, man. It was like the way he just dunks on people, the way he just was aggressive, the way he took you right. It was his mentality more than his skill set. His mindset was, I know I'm not bigger, stronger, faster, better than you, but I feel like I am, and I'm going to approach it that way no matter who it is on the other side of this court.
Stephon Marbury was better than Baron Davis?
Nah.
Yeah, but Steve Francis or Grant Hill was better than both of them.
Well, different positions. We gotta stay within positions.
Yeah, I'll stay within Steve Francis.
You telling me Stephon Marbury wasn't better than Baron Davis? Health alone made him better.
Oh,
why he go to China then? Baron Davis
Alvin.
He didn't have to go there. BD, when Baron Davis dunked on old boy and pulled up his shirt where you can see he was wearing the waistband when he was wearing Golden State.
Those are highlights. All injury prone.
Like three back injuries.
Okay. Look, Baron Davis is probably top 3 point guards where if he didn't get injured, he would have won a chip.
Who's the other two?
Point guards?
Yes. And if you don't name one, I'll never talk basketball with you again. And you know basketball.
One would be Steve Nash.
Okay, I agree with that. He had the back injuries.
Okay, you got one more chance.
Point guard?
Yes.
Chris Paul.
Penny Hardaway, are you serious?
He was a point guard.
Okay.
He made it to the All though. So he got it.
Hold on, y'all talking at the same time, huh? Go ahead.
Okay, my fault. When I think Penny, I don't even think point. I just think like Magic Jr. So that's my fault. He was the transcendent from Magic to LeBron. Like my bad. You right. Because look, I always thought about Chris Paul because he was my favorite point guard and never get it. But
I love Chris Paul. Chris Paul is underrated.
Penny, always.
I love Chris Paul.
Penny Hardaway, Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, and then probably like either a franchise or Stephon Marbury was like my 5 in the like late 90s, early 2000s that just was right there, like high jersey sales, top players in the NBA, all-stars, but just couldn't get over the injuries.
What about Yao Ming?
What about him?
Yao Ming was just he was the Chinese unicorn though. He was the one that made going over.
Hey, why would you wait? So hold on. That's foul. He can play basketball.
No, he was nice. No, it's not even like that. I mean, he was nice as shit. But I mean, when it comes to his height, when it comes to the fact of what he was able to do, and I mean, I love those 2 seasons when he was healthy. Because everybody in the league was like their main objective was to dunk on him. Like I've never seen somebody wanting to be dunked on more than Sean Bradley. Like Yao Ming was probably our generation Sean Bradley.
Is Yao Ming legendary to basketball culture? He was recited in the song by Jay-Z?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, within the culture, yeah, because he was the first to do what he did, and he changed what we looked at Chinese basketball. Like, not even on no funny style, because maybe there's no Jeremy Lin without Yao Ming. and that Ling
I can see
Sandy
that,
was
of
crazy.
course.
But man, wait, real quick, Caleb. Though I really got a problem with you going in on the Lakers bench. I try to sit there, be nice and just listen to you for a second. But the Clippers have a much deeper bench than the Lakers, and I won't even lie. From Lou Will all the way to the other Morris twin. But when you really think about what the Lakers did this season, when you think about the way their roster is assembled, and honestly, you have Jason Kidd really running the team with Frank Vogel as the face. And I feel that they are so all in on this season that winning a championship for some of them might mean they're retiring. Like Jared Dudley ain't coming back for another season. He wins the ring right now. You know what I mean?
Who is that?
Like exactly. He's been getting the low end of the ball when it comes to shoot.
That's my point. Is that you're going in with Jared Dudley, Alex Caruso.
Don't even start with Alex Caruso because he's who is stopping?
You're telling me that this is a championship team. I just have to see it.
Dwight, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James are the biggest three down low since honestly maybe David Robinson and Tim Duncan.
Anthony Davis doesn't want to play down low. LeBron doesn't want to play down low.
He doesn't have to. The fact that they know
it doesn't matter because they play small ball.
No, I'm talking about defensively.
The height doesn't matter. Defensively, LeBron has never been even close to a defensive anything. How many times has he made all defensive teams? What?
Those stats.
LeBron is not a defensive player. Anthony Davis, you have one defensive player. Maybe Dwight Howard, if he can get back to who he used to be. That's
you have Rondo, you have Avery Bradley, you have defensive anchors.
Avery Bradley, okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And Rondo.
But offensively.
And you grab Deion Waiters, and you grab the other Morris twin.
Deion Waiters, Alvin, Caleb. Deion Waiters can hit an open shot when he get in his bag.
He got a nice jump shot. But who did they get rid of though? Who was the dude that was before him? I can't remember his name. The dude that couldn't hit no shots.
You talking about Josh Hart?
Nah, not Josh Hart.
Last
the other shooting guard, man. The Lakers.
Oh, you talking about I'm not a Laker fan. If you drawing a blank, pull up the question.
Yeah, I'm drawing. Yeah, man. I don't know, but we got to move on. Let's move on.
No. We got to finish talking about that. Hold on, we got to close that out, man.
Because nobody's even said anything about Kyle Kuzma, other than Jason Tatum. Kyle Kuzma out of that draft class, he's still a nice player.
Kyle Kuzma's a clown. He know in Hollywood he's dyeing his hair. He's branding. Kyle Kuzma is branding.
He's Rodman. He's Rodman 2.0.
No, he's not. He doesn't have the work ethic that Rodman has.
Off the court.
Okay.
But on the court, he did bust his ass to not be included in the Anthony Davis trade.
He had to.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So the work ethic's there.
That means it's not legit.
Oh, so what you're saying is he had the Eddie Jones trade when it's time to get traded, he could turn that shit up. Eddie Jones used to do that.
Yeah, of course.
Whenever Eddie Jones' name got put up.
That's not true, Alvin. We'll talk about that again.
Okay.
I was in high school. How old are you, Alvin?
33.
Okay. I was in high school when Eddie Jones was playing. And we're gonna get back to Eddie Jones. That's funny you say that. I don't disagree with you though.
All right, well let's get to the NFL though, man.
Okay.
After all this Kaepernick kneeling for the last 3 years, all this protesting during the national anthem, rule changes, players being kicked out of the league like Eric Reed and who was that? What's his name? Hill? I can't remember his name. But there's just been so much turmoil over Kaepernick's protests. And now the NFL comes out and admits that Kaepernick was right and that they were wrong the whole time. How do you feel on that? Like, can the NFL even recant? Can they get?
They should have gave him his job back before they said anything. Like, because I feel like it's a slap in the face.
You see, but the NFL doesn't. The NFL as an organization issued the statement, not the team.
Yeah. No, as an organization, they issued a statement just to save face because it's been too long that everybody else is saying something. And they can't, if they stayed quiet, that could have been the straw that broke our backs, that turned us into wanting to be equal to wanting reparations. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to go and get it. Because right now, I guarantee you more than half of the protesters right now, if you say, if Colin Kaepernick got his job back, would that be a sign of good faith that there's better times coming? People would say, yeah. And it would slow down some of the looting and the rioting and all that, because majority of people would change up how they're going, because majority of us are not being the ones looting and whatnot. But that would just be another Band-Aid over the fucking wound. So I don't think it's really anything. I think it's just like, you wanted it, here you go. Because I mean, shit. Put Cap on the damn Raiders, like then I'd be quiet. Like something like he could have got free agency at least after he had his tryout. But go ahead, Kim, my bad.
Good, brother. Good. I was listening. I was all ears. I think that I mean, it was a simple PR move. I think that the NFL probably sensed a revolt, and they start once again. The NFL, they work off metrics. Generally, people who have power, they solely work off metrics. Solely. Nothing subjective to them. I think they delved in even that more deeply to the numbers, and they seen a lot of black liberation, and they seen allies. So they were looking at, this is going to affect overall sales as far as if we don't apologize and we don't make it duly noted that we understand that Colin Kaepernick was right, which of course they were forced into it. They start looking at the overall picture, and they start looking at the black influence in the players and the fans, and then the optics of them seeing the Black Lives Matter movement and all the allies that are encompassed. So, I mean, I guess it was a forceful move, and it didn't really mean anything to me. But I'll tell you this: the NFL would never want to take the stance of what the NBA has, to where the players pretty much have a large voice in the NBA, right? So the NFL, I think they got scared and was like, you know what? We're not going to revise our plan to how the NBA is. So let me go ahead and it was almost like, let me offer an apology to have sustainable power.
So it's all a money play. It's
for sure.
I got one more thing to add, though. I got one more thing to add to it. I honestly feel like it was. I know my daughter. I honestly feel like it only came when it came as well because of how everything went down with Drew Brees' statement. Because a lot of people had stayed quiet. You had players making their silent protests or making their peaceful protests by walking, and they can't do anything about that because the season's not going on right now. Like maybe it might be a breach of contract. I don't know. But I think the way Drew Brees has been one of those like accepted by all type of people, and then the way they showed his jersey getting burned and everybody's flipping out in Orlando or New Orleans, I think that they were like, shit, let's get ahead of that since we're already years behind, obviously, and just throw out that politically correct statement just to save face.
The curve.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been talking about it with a lot of my friends, like, man, I'd be damned if nobody makes a silent protest and goes, hey, we're not coming to practice until somebody makes a statement, or we're saying we're not going to, come into training camp or something. Like if something was said or something was done, then it would make it that it was exactly. Like the league is what, 80% African-American? You know what I'm saying? So it's like realistically, even the NBA as well. Like that's why a lot of this
black.
It is like, that's why if you don't keep us happy within the things that we're doing, you're going to have a bigger blowback. So NFL, I mean, you already lost the Raiders to Vegas, and they're waiting to try to open up this stadium. Imagine what would have happened if they didn't say anything and people didn't want to come and fill up. Well, I guess we wouldn't be able to fill up the stadium anyway because of all of that. But you know what I mean? Like they would have lost millions of dollars if they didn't say something.
Alvin, till present day, within the past 5 years, I think this is probably one of the best PR moves I've ever seen in basketball. Like within the past 5 years. Obviously, they've had other situations, but this was excellent. I mean, it was bullshit. Come on, man. We read between the lines.
Yeah.
if they were serious, if they were serious, they would offer Cap a real opportunity and nothing skewed. Nothing skewed though. Because his last effort, they were skewed. Things were way too subjective. It was, he offered this. Oh no, he declined that. Offer something clear cut across the board to where everyone sees.
The venue was a problem. Like how the venue was a problem. Like, does grass matter? Like where you?
No, he don't. He's a quarterback. He's used to throwing footballs in his sleep.
Man,
he doesn't need a target.
Man. And then he used what? He used Odell Beckham. He used AB. He's used a lot of people just to show that he's not giving up on his craft. And I mean, and I hate to say it because I'm like one of the biggest Carmelo Anthony fans, but it's like it took Carmelo. Don't do me like that. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't want to jump away from the NFL, but I'll do it quick. I'll say it quick. I was in high school while him and LeBron were in high school. So when they played each other, St. Vincent St. Mary's against Oak Hill Academy and Melo won, I was like, look, LeBron might be the next coming, whatever, but this dude's the truth. And then everybody was on the whole light skin, dark skin thing. I had braids, so I was riding with my man, right? He goes to Syracuse, he wins the national championship, he gets the player of the year, and I'm like, hey, he got to go top 3. He goes top 3, but you know when he goes to Denver, Darko Milicic goes to Detroit, and his whole career just goes wherever it goes. Not that he's still not a Hall of Fame player, and everything he did with the Olympic team isn't great, but I feel like he got shortchanged, just like Charles Barkley got shortchanged. Like, you know, he just got screwed on the team he was drafted to. Man, was still a great Hall of Fame player, but he didn't get it. So, like, that's how I feel like when he went to the Knicks, he got gas. Like, he should have never went to the Knicks.
He went to the Knicks. No, that was his choice. He went to the Knicks because he was chasing the money.
I know, but
he's still getting paid off that contract.
I know, but he knows.
Of course, that's why he set it up. That's why he didn't want to win. So no. He made noise in Denver. He made no. And look, the West was loaded back then. He made noise in Denver, though. Carmelo Anthony led to the demise of his career.
Yeah, I know.
Can we agree?
Yeah, no, I know. It hurt me.
Yeah,
it hurt me.
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah.
But go back to the NFL, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, but the comment too I wanted to add about the NFL, not just the statement, but I also think it's unique that Goodell didn't step up and lead it all and have a whole bunch of things to say before the statement was made. I thought that he would have been somebody that would have wanted to jump up because it was, the whole George Floyd's Steven Jackson's brother. So that made it more relevant to all athletics. So I felt like he probably, I just thought he was I felt like he was very not jigabooish, but he didn't give a fuck about what he said anyway. So I thought he would have just said it right away. Like, oh, well, sorry it happened, but we want to get back to what we're doing, but we'll see. Him and Drowsy will kill. Talking about D Rose, yeah. But yeah.
I feel it. So do you think that a team is going to give him a chance? And if so, what team do you think that would be the best fit?
I could see them sarcastically putting them on the Redskins.
At this point, I advise, you know what?
The Redskins? Why the Redskins?
Because of Washington.
Because of the whole name and stuff. Yeah, because of the whole name and stuff.
With all the racial shit going on behind the Redskins name, you're gonna put them.
Yeah.
Exactly. I can see that. Hey, you're Alvin. Alvin, you're a genius.
Thank you.
I see Jerry Jones.
Hey, you stupid for that one, dog.
I see Jerry Jones.
Oh man,
down in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Not wanting to pay Dak Prescott. He's gonna just keep signing people. So I feel like Jerry Jones.
Yeah, but right now, if he don't sign Dak Prescott, he's gonna lose the Cowboys. He's gonna lose all the fan base. The Cowboy Nation wants Dak Prescott. They want him and they want Zeke Elliott together for at least the next 3 to 5 years. So if he did that,
they just got the receiver in the draft, so they got their trifecta.
Yeah, they trying to redo primetime with Aikman, Smith, and Irvin.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and take it out of the football optics and just play it to the Black Lives Matter movement, and hopefully he'll get a job just to promote merch.
Man.
Yeah, definitely. The money that they gonna make.
That's it. That's
But
it.
what is,
Yeah.
But not even.
so,
Caleb,
go ahead.
not even from the monetary aspect, just the culture. I mean, you give him a fair shot to play, and people are just going to gravitate, especially coming off the George Floyd movement.
Yes, sir.
People are going to gravitate to any merch. And it gives any black entrepreneur out there within our culture, gives us an opportunity to thrive too and have economic worth too. So I'm just thinking about economically, because he's always going to stay in shape and take care of himself. We know what kind of football player he was.
Right.
I'm looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah,
my daughter.
You look at Go ahead. Keep going. My bad.
I'm looking at the bigger picture to where my daughter is looking at him like a legit martyr and not one that's in vain. It's a bigger picture. It's global. It can become global. But first it has to start within us. We need to devise a game plan, right? Come together as a cohesive unit.
I know Kaepernick wished that he wouldn't have took that undisclosed amount of money. Whatever deal he took, I know that he wished that he wouldn't have took that deal, because he left trillions of dollars on the table. I feel like no matter whatever he settled for, it's no way that because of what's happened now, he got maybe a fifth of what he could have got.
But there was no way that he was going to know that this was going to happen. I mean, it's not like we don't know. You know, there's more of us dying every day than what we see on TV. But at the same time, I think maybe he took it as his reparations for the years that they cast him out. But I'm with what Ken said as far as the merch, though. I'm just thinking like, back when the Lakers won their three-peat, and I keep going back to basketball, but just on the merchandise selling part, you remember people haven't been out of their trunks in a long time. Like the girl I graduated with in high school, like she made this shirt for me and my daughter, because she was asking us to brand rep. So my shirt is on Focus on the Future, because that's what I talk about with the kids. My daughter's onesie said the future. So, we took a picture and she was able to sell her clothes saying, I customize t-shirts. But when you think about but when you really think about
Alvin,
it,
can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? It's crazy you said out the trunk, because now when the world opens back up and we're able to move in the free world again, I'm a firm believer that out the trunk culture is going to pop up again.
That's exactly where I was reading. Yeah. I'm with you. That's exactly where I was leading. Like that, there's no way.
Because people, you know what? We've been kind of.
We went backwards. We lost 20 years of a generation almost. Like we almost back in the 90s, where I trust you because I can physically.
In 3 months. In 3 months, though, Alvin. In 3 months, this is what people fail to realize. We missed the "Hey, how are you?" instead of walking away. Oh, you don't have a mask. Well, guess what? You can read emotions from my eyes, but not when my face is covered. Exactly. You got to be able to see me smile to match that, right?
Yep.
So you know what? And it's a good thing for our culture. You made a good point. That out the trunk culture is coming back.
Yeah,
it can.
Yeah, it has. No. It's like realistically, if you think about it, it has to. I've been telling my daughters this whole time during quarantine that all of this 12, 8, and 2. So 13-year-old. So you know where I'm going with this. So I'm telling them that as much as we've been on YouTube, as far as me watching what they watching, everybody's soliciting themselves for the products that they like, and they're testing it for you to see, and you believe them because you're watching them on the screen. But when it comes to what's going to happen next, now you're not going to just go into the mall and buy what you used to like, because it doesn't matter anymore. Like Jordan tennis shoes, you're not going to buy the Jordan that came out during quarantine just because it's on the rack. You're going to say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait until next month," or whatever the next release is. So anybody that will have something that's new and unique and have it accessible right there for you, you're going to jump on that wave, because that's what you've been programmed to seeing for so long. Like, you are stuck in the black culture because that's what's popular. And the black culture used to always be new, upbeat, new, trendy,
exclusive,
and exactly exclusive. So if I go inside, I see Nike, and I'm going back to what you said with Kaepernick. I see a Nike T-shirt with a fake fro and a fist and all that because they're trying to now capitalize on his image. But then we leave the mall, and I go back to my car, and I see a brother outside with his SUV, trunk open, got the different shirts displayed, same type of stuff, but you can tell the quality is a little bit better, and it's Black owned, and it's not Nike, Adidas, Reebok, and all that. So I'm thinking of the bigger picture. Like, if I'm a logo head, I can wear this with whatever I want. Instead of supporting Nike's money or Adidas money, I can give it to him, do it my way. Matter of fact, I could be foul and say I made it myself because it doesn't have a brand on it. But it'll make more people go back into that. Like when the Lakers won the three-peat. How many people had knockoff Laker T-shirts or the names of everybody on the back just because you wanted to say you had something that was unique, fresh, and whatnot? So it has to happen. You just told on yourself, huh?
You just told on yourself, Alvin.
Yeah, my dad did me foul. Hey, my dad did me foul. Hey, that's why I had to call it out. I had to call it out. I took a sipping giggles. Shout out to sipping giggles. Shout out to Top Shelf.
hey, wait. So back in the day in 2000, you had the code. Memorabilia. But on the tag, but Alvin, let me ask you a question. But on the tag it said wash in warm water.
Yep.
Oh, you lost.
Hey. I had pro clubs with the tight neck. It had the tight neck, and it had a printed Kobe, Shaq, and Derek Fisher.
Screen T's. 2003 was the era. Me and my boys, we were the Screen T kings. We used to go to Delamo swap meet in LA. Man, I got a whole story. We got to talk again, man. I'm talking too much. What's up, Caleb?
Shit, chilling. I was enjoying the convo, man. But to end on that one note with Kaepernick, man. So we do believe that at some point in 2020, this upcoming season, Kaepernick will get a call for a job. It's incumbent. It's going to happen. We're just waiting to see what organization is going to be the one to do it. And the reasoning behind it is not going to be genuine. It's not going to be because they believe in Cap or because they're supporting the Black movement. They're going to do it to capitalize on whatever revenue they can do, tap into. And as Black people, we just got to accept that, and get our bag and keep it pushing. Because like he said, now with the pop the trunk culture coming back, we can take our bag and do whatever we want with it. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So it's just making sure that those dollars circulate within the Black community. Because as Black people, that's probably our biggest failure, is taking our dollars and spending it outside the Black community where the Black dollars don't circulate and stay within our circle. And that's our biggest problem within America, bigger than racism, is keeping the Black dollar within the Black community. Because that's going to give us economic power, and that's going to change the status of where we stand in America, bigger and faster than any racism or any civil rights bill that can be passed.
And you know what? Let me piggyback off that. I couldn't agree more. And for me, that's why I don't think we need allies. I think it's something as simple as us recycling the Black dollar in the inner community. That's it. That's the biggest protest. Because at the point to where we start incorporating allies, we don't know their intentions. That's for optical pleasure. But when we're not spending money, that's not for optical pleasure, though. That's the hidden where it hurts. And that's the word, and that's the real economic warfare. That people don't, we can march, we can do this. They don't care about that because those marches are monitored. You understand what I'm saying? Every march in U.S. history has been monitored. You can only go past a certain point. And we don't know what that point is, right? We just don't know. So when we deal with how we spend our money, people are putting lists and references to all Black owned. And then what we do is each culture, each minority, they just adopt that, move it to the Asian, the Latino, Hispanic, and all the other quote unquote minorities. And then from there, they'll get the big picture. And then from there, we're forced to be equal because the dollar remains the same. Because at that point to where we're not spending money, that devalues their dollar though, right? So they're like, oh my God, you know what? Now, you know what? We want them to spend so that they can value the dollar and understand like we're doing this together. It's economic warfare. I couldn't agree more, Caleb.
Exactly. And what people fail to realize is that America isn't overpopulated. The cities are overpopulated. I think it's about 88% of America is still rural. So there's still plenty of land within America for us to inhabit. A city is a corporation. So people incorporate their city as a organization, and they buy a plot of land. And
Who
this
are those
is how
people?
we get cities. Well, mostly Masons and Jews, not us, not black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But these cities that we live in were incorporated, and plots of land were bought and built upon, and this is how we're in the cities that we live in now. So with 80% of America being rural, with all our monies, we can incorporate our own cities within America's states and have our own cities and lands to basically rule. So that is an option. Now, I'm a Garveyite. I believe that we're never going to get full equality within America. So one thing that we fail to realize is that when we were emancipated, we were granted liberty, not freedom.
Freedom, no, of course, right.
So freedom is actually exactly what it says. You're free to do as you please. With liberty, it is an extension of freedom. So we have access to the freedom that the white people have. And this is why in the judicial
sometimes, though, sometimes.
No, but just by definition. And this is why we have to pay attention to jargon, because jargon is everything. Words mean everything, man. And we're granted liberty in America, not freedom. So when we say we're free, we're not free. We have access to the liberties of free people.
But Caleb, you know what's the problem? You have to explain something like that should be so elementary to us. We should have learned that as a kid, man. We should have learned the different semantics. We should have been educated, but that goes back to the educational system. Here's the thing, right? I tell people all the time when it comes to America, right? When how America was built, and then you take it to a personal tier, right? You're not gonna build. You're not gonna have a blueprint. You're not gonna have it actually go up in construction for it not to benefit you. That's your land. That's your property, regardless on how you got it. So for us to ever expect for us to be on an even playing field, like you said, you're a Garveyite. That's where most of us lose. Expecting that. We need to work within our own parameters. Each one teach one to take baby steps. The fact that you had to even put that out there, which is good, it's viable information. But if you really dig deep, we should already know that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's 101.
So I think that this quarantine has been great because now a lot of parents have actually tapped into their parenting and realized the directions in which they need to steer their children. So this quarantine has identified the holes in the public education system.
Can I ask you a question?
Re-educated the black community, and this is why the outpour for George Floyd is as prominent as it is.
You know, I can speak for my daughter, specifically from being quarantined from school. She's really feeling the non-interpersonal interaction. Like she likes the virtual learning. She's thinking about more of her craft. And it's wild though, right? Because at 13 years old, most of us, the general consensus wasn't entrepreneurship. It just wasn't. We were taught at that point, at 13, most of us taught we're going to go to church, Sunday school, and then school takes precedent over everybody, but God first, right? Now the paradigm has shifted. You have these kids. I don't even think, you know what? Kenya graduates in 2025. I'm 40, so sometimes my memory get bad with numbers, unless it's money, right? So I'm interested to see what Kenya wants to do when she graduates from high school, man. Because she's going down like the regular matriculation, like she's going down the path to go to a 4-year, wherever that might land, or Cal State, UC, Ivy League. I mean, who knows? But she's going down that path. But her entrepreneurial mind frame, I mean, they're running parallel. It's wild, man. We didn't have that. I didn't have that at 13, man.
Not at all. We seen hustlers, but hustlers were never incorporated. We never seen them
Exactly.
get the legal dollars, you know. So
Right.
now that we're seeing black people actually have legitimate businesses
Legalize
and get
hustling
legitimate money,
for sure.
it's that's what it is. You know, it's the pop the trunk culture is legalized hustling, man. Let's
And
get
you,
it.
I want
So,
to, you know what? I love that pop the truck culture, man. I'm glad Alvin, yeah, spoke on that because I want to express on it again, man. People are gonna have a thirst and hunger to really say, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" Even the most recluse is gonna come out the house to get that kind of tangible feel. I mean, that's very
mhm.
important, man. Like we're not used to like no man is an island unto themselves, both man and woman alike. So just especially in the technology era, quarantine back 40 years ago was kind of almost expected, though, right? Because everything is relative. But now, oh no, not with technology being on the forefront. People still want to go outside too and engulf in technology. It's about
Exactly.
dynamic.
So let's get up out of here before let's get some shout outs. Anybody you want to hit up? Any
All right,
content?
well, for sure. First of all, with all due respects to the Politikan Forum, HNS 420 and Can Chronicles, I write articles a couple times a week. Just check that out. I also have a audio podcast, and usually those are references into the articles that are written probably a couple of days before the same day. Working on music. Shout out to Zaire. Shout out to Lucky. Both of them have albums. Zaire has an album, Underrated and Overdue. It dropped May 15th. Go stream that. He has a single coming out called I Know, and the visuals soon to come. And we got Lucky. Lucky has an album, Heavy Heart, and he has a single. It's called I'm drawing a blank right now. Excuse me, Lucky, no disrespect. But we talked about Rule Gal. He said that he wanted to do a single to that. So we'll see. Everything is up and coming. Shout out to two of those talented artists. And I'm gonna get back to Lucky's single before we get off because he has a visual to it as well.
Yeah, I was just saying. I checked the visual out. The video was dope. He had the real red light hallway scene, man. That was dope, man. You know what I'm saying? Whoever shot that video, shout out to you, man. Dope visual. Well, Politic in the podcast, we back, man. We gonna be back at you 2 times a week. We on all major platforms: Spotify, Apple, Google. We on everything, man. Politikan Forum. We got daily articles. I just dropped a couple. I just dropped the information about the UFC Fight Island. Hit that up, man. Politikanbroadcastingnetworks.com. Go there for all our content centralized. And that's all I got for you.
Okay,
Anything
give me
else?
one. Yeah, give me 1 second. We got the visual for Lucky's. 1 second. Sorry, we got the visual for Lucky's Crazy. That visual is out now. And again, Zaire, Underrated and Overdue. He has a visual coming out to the single I Know.
For sure, for sure. Well, check that out. Hit the note. Check us out on Instagram, man. Politikan Broadcasting Networks. Let's get it. Hey,
Salute.
I don't know what y'all gonna do, but I'm gonna get to it.
Peace.
Peace, brother.